Good evening and welcome to our Tuesday Night Live. We're so glad you're here. This live will begin shortly, and we're excited to share this journey with you. This is a space of kindness and encouragement, so let's be welcoming to everyone looking to better themselves. If you have questions, drop them in the chat or use the super chat to make sure it gets addressed. Thank you for being a part of our community. Let's make it a great night. Happy Tuesday.
Hi, guys.
We got a Chandra. We got a kitty cat here. We got a kitty cat over there. You've got us. Let us know if you can hear us because we had the problems last week. And boy, was I upset.
He very rarely gets angry, and he was quite upset.
It was just one of those things, like it just was not working. And then I had a fully successful 3 hours on Sunday. And then I go to set this up tonight, and we're downstairs, and it just stopped not wanting to work. And then I used a different browser, and here we are. So the browser that doesn't normally work at all is working tonight. The one that normally works is not working tonight, but here we are. Take two.
Sorry. Thor is being distracting on the end table. I don't know what he's doing, but he's like just being weird, and I'm like very distracted by his behaviors.
He is a silly old kitten.
They both are.
Yes.
Ooh, I need to turn the volume off on my phone.
Oh, yeah, good plan. I think I turned mine off earlier.
Just in case.
Because I've been putting in applications to...
Come here.
I've been putting in applications for more jobs, and when you start putting in applications places, you start going around online and looking. I had about 25 phone calls today that were not from jobs. They were just spam calls.
Spam likely, his girlfriend.
Yeah, she's my new side piece, Spam Likely.
Yeah.
And
sunk in the couch.
You know, and she calls her sometimes too.
Yes, Spam Likely calls all the time.
Yes, so we are in March.
Persistent.
It's March 4th.
It is March.
It's March 4th. So let's talk about BBB&E. How did you feel about the bulk of February? I feel that the bulk of February, we were relatively successful to the last little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the...
family came in.
No, family came in town and threw us kind of off. I wouldn't say we went off the rails, but I mean... Because I think
not consistent.
Well, I mean, off the rails is when you're doing it without a reason.
Yeah.
You're just going gung-ho, but we were spending a lot of time with family. We were out, and sometimes it's just... And I know it may sound like a cop-out, and I talked about this on Sunday. It may sound... Or it may just sometimes be easier just to go with what's going on, especially when you're around like 20 people.
And you're around 20 people, and none of them understand what you do, and they all want to tell you how to do it differently. They all want to tell you that you're gonna die, you're killing yourself, that kind of stuff.
But then they eat 6 times in a day.
Right. And we've learned this from multiple past experiences, that it's just a lot of times not worth the argument. We'll just go with the flow while we're here. And then when we get home, we go back to how we are. You know, it doesn't work for everybody, but we manage, because when we're here and it's just us, we are on track. So
yeah, it's easy for us when no one else is around, but they're only in town once a year, once every other year kind of thing.
Right.
So, and then like everybody was in town. So all of her siblings.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
It was amazing. I love her family.
Nephews.
I think I love her family more than she does.
Well, that might be debatable.
But anyway, so there were some takeaways.
I love them in small doses.
Yes, like once every 2 years.
Yes.
Now, you had some takeaways about BBB&E. Let them know what you discovered.
Okay, So what I discovered is that I'm pretty certain that soda is really not good for me, which I know I already knew. But what I noticed is because for the longest time we didn't have soda in the house, not ever. And then we kind of got in the habit of buying soda again. And I'm a Diet Coke girl. Okay. And it would come into the house and I'd have it again. And then it was like, oh, we're going to cut it off again. And then I would have it again and he would start buying more of it again. But this time with the triple B&E, again, mine was beef, butter, chicken, and eggs because I can't eat bacon. But with that and not having the soda, I didn't have any swelling in my ankles. So I wear compression socks at work, but I don't wear them at home. And I get dependent edema at the end of a 12-hour shift. But what I was finding more frequently as we were home, because I sit at a desk to do a lot of my eBay work, is that I was having swollen ankles by the end of the day. And it was bothering me, it irritates me because of all my body parts, I have skinny hands and skinny feet, and that's about it. So when they get fat, I get upset. So without having the soda, I wasn't having swollen ankles at all. And I'm not sure if it was just the soda because I would also kind of equate it to not having dairy as well. We have just cream in our coffee, but no other dairy otherwise because I can't have my coffee without cream. And without the soda and without the dairy, I had no swelling. So I think I'm going to do my best to try to continue with that to the best of my ability. I'm not going to be able to avoid cheese completely, but especially because I genuinely have a love affair with cheese. It is one of my best friends. But I'm going to try to keep it cut back as much as I can. And then with the soda, if we're out to eat, I'll have a soda, but I'm really got to get back to not letting Dustin buy it when he's at the store. Because what happens is he'll be at the store. I'll say, hey, babe, will you grab me a Diet Coke? And then he'll bring home a 6-pack or a 12-pack or a couple of 12-packs or a couple of 6-packs because they were on sale.
Well, you get a figure. So when you're at the checkout line, a 20-ounce of Diet Coke is $2.25, whereas a 6-pack of 16.9-ounce sodas is $5. And I know it's very difficult to go, okay, but tonight that's what I did. I just brought her a Diet Coke tonight.
Right.
And I got myself a Mountain Dew Zero because I know that I am better off without soda.
Same.
Now we do use some of the water enhancers.
That doesn't seem to bother me.
Is that sucralose and ACE K, right?
Yeah.
And not aspartame.
I imagine it's probably more than just the aspartame. Most sodas contain a high amount of phosphorus, a high amount of sodium, a lot of things that your body utilizes, but not in the amounts that come in a soda. So, and probably not easily bioavailable. It's more like the trash chemicals your body can't get rid of.
Right.
So, yeah, I think I'm very good. If I have a bottle of soda, I can often stretch that out over 3 days, one 16-ounce pop, because I'll drink some and then I'll set it down and put the lid on it. And I'll come back to it the next day and I'll have another little bit of it. And then I'll come back to it the next day and have another little bit of it. And I'm good. Or I'll drink some, put it in the fridge and then come back to it. So I don't need to drink soda, but I like it. So I can't say I'm never going to have it again. But what I'm going to say is that I'm going to have it as minimally as possible because I really like having skinny ankles.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just one of not having the soda, I feel better. But the one thing that I've found is the need for bubbles sometimes. So just like the seltzer waters and such, but I can't drink those like soda because they make me super thirsty.
And they're gross.
Yeah, I have some grape ones in the big fridge where the car goes because I'm in the garage itself, but it's going to be getting warmer here soon, so that means our fridge out there isn't going to work. But Sometimes I just need the bubbles, and I'm
Mhm.
okay with just the seltzer water sometimes, but it just doesn't quench my thirst. It just makes me more and more thirsty. So the seltzer water doesn't work. And it is okay. So it is strange because sometimes nothing quite does you what you want than a soda. And I'm sure there's an addiction aspect to that because even with like energy drinks and such, there's been times where
And I also want to say we've not been drinking energy drinks.
I've had some
I haven't.
just to get through some of the things going on, you know what I mean? Um but for me, like when I used to be able to get the Rockstar energy drinks that I like at the grocery store or the gas stations before Pepsi bought them and changed the formula, I would walk by and I would try to not have them. I would just see them and like you get that mouth watering, like I really want that. And like a serious like addiction kind of thing pulling you to it. And I'm like, ooh, I mean, there's little telltale signs of addiction, whether it's sweets or whatever, whatever you find yourself addicted to. Because I know that I have, it's a long-standing thing of food addiction with me, and soda kind of plays into that, and energy drinks and all that stuff. And you have to be a little careful, or a lot careful, really, with what you allow yourself to have.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think one thing here is Jeffrey sent us a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much,
Woo-hoo.
Jeffrey. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Oh, that's a really cool
I do.
superhero picture.
I do like
that.
that.
You look really cool.
It's like Steak Man. He
Yes.
says, "Hello, Knife Brother and Chandra. In response to your title, I suggest more Triple B&E. Join us. One of us. We're a great cult. I mean, group. So, I mean, for real.
I think if I think we can continue it and still do okay. Getting back to it, I think it isn't an issue. I actually feel a lot better without the cheese and the soda. So I don't know, like I said, I'm going to put cream in my coffee. It is what it is. I can't eat bacon. Kills me. It's the worst. I love bacon.
It's the heartburn, indigestion, and all that.
Yeah, I unfortunately, whenever I eat bacon, and it seems like any and all pork products, I get heartburn that lasts like all day long. Like I will eat bacon in the morning, and when I lay down at night to go to bed, I still am belching up bacon, and it feels like it just sits here in my chest, and it's yucky, and I don't enjoy it. So I'm not going to eat bacon, but I will do beef, butter, chicken, and eggs still. That I can do. And I've realized I've tried so many different ways from Sunday. I just don't like chicken breast. I just don't. It's not good. I don't like it.
We make it for the granddaughter. So we make it for the granddaughter because she likes bland chicken.
Yeah.
She's 6 and that's what she likes. She dips it in ketchup.
Ew.
Because she's 6. So with that, so we buy that. So I buy chicken breast for her. I like the fact that Costco has it where you can cut them apart and they're individually sealed, usually like 2 boobs per package.
Yeah.
So I think there's 8 packages, 6 packages. So you're getting like
a good amount.
You're getting like 16 boobs.
Yeah, and each one's little sealed and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't like chicken breast. I've tried it. I just nope. I think I'd rather eat paper, to be honest.
And Sherry's asking, is it all pork? We think it is.
So I used to make a pork roast. I loved it. It was delicious. Just tie it up, put some seasoning on it, and then cut up some onions next to it. And I would do okay, but I would still have heartburn like at night when I would go to bed. So even if we would have it for dinner, and when the kids were here, we ate relatively early, like 7 or 8 o'clock. Well, I guess 8 o'clock is kind of late, but about 7 o'clock we would eat. And I would still have really bad heartburn going to bed. And it's just gotten progressively worse as I've gotten older. So I just keep pulling further and further away from the pork stuff. For sure, bacon, but also like other pork products. Like I absolutely love pork belly, but it says the same thing to me. I love it. It's freaking delicious.
I do have to cut that pork belly up and freeze it. Yeah.
And I will oftentimes eat it anyway, but it hurts. It's very painful.
I think a lot of it is because we also have issues with some beef that's overcooked. Like if we do like a roast and you
Yeah.
put like, we can't do crock pot meat anymore. It's overdone.
Mhm.
It just sits and it doesn't digest well. I think we've gotten to the point now where we eat so much rare
Well,
or,
and
and medium rare and all that stuff.
I'm a really bad patient, being that I'm a nurse, but I would almost guarantee that I have gastroparesis, which is a slowing of the gastrointestinal tract so that the food doesn't move through as quickly as it would for normal people. Because I sometimes will eat whatever at night and wake up in the morning and still have it on my breath like I just ate it, still have it in my stomach, still feel bloated or gassy from whatever. And I know a lot of people have issues like that, but it seems like for me, it lingers an exceptionally long amount of time. So, bad patient. I don't go to the doctor. I know better. But I think that because pork has to be well done, I don't know though. I don't get it with chicken, and chicken gets well done too.
But I think chicken's easier to break down.
I don't know. Something in here just doesn't work right. But definitely pork products, for sure bacon of all flavors, even pork belly, which is oh, so delicious. It doesn't like me. So, yeah, we haven't really said hi to anybody. Hi guys.
Carrie's here. Said the baker went to
Carrie.
lunch and his car was declined. I guess he didn't have enough dough. And
I
then
love those
Rock
dad
and
jokes.
Keto Amy is here. Hello, Amy.
Hi,
Yesterday,
Amy.
Sunday was her birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for joining us and have a good night too. Oh, I made it rhyme.
She's a lot better singer than me.
Uh,
And she says, let's do this.
yes.
And then she says, hi, Dustin and Shandra. This wasn't the same Tuesday without you last week.
Yeah, we was it Tuesday we sat down and it didn't work?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we were going to do it Thursday, but the parents were here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we had to, I wasn't sure. So my family is a bunch of not great planners, and that includes me as well. So we have like a family group text, and I texted it. So when's everybody coming into town? And they all kind of say when they're coming into town. And I was like, and what's everybody's plans? And I get no reply. Well, then on Thursday, I get a call from my mom, and she's like, hey, we're going to come see you guys. We're about 10 minutes out. I was like, wait, what? Hang on. I knew you were coming, but you can't call me 10 minutes away and say you're going to drop in. That's not cool. And then after they left, my sister called and or text, and she said, hey, we're grabbing some food, and then we're going to be at your house in about half an hour. I was like, another one. They did it again.
And then we were going to go out to dinner. Then we weren't going to go out to dinner.
Right.
Then we settled in to not go out to dinner. And then
our son said, let's go out to dinner.
Yes. And then he took us out to dinner. I'll pay for you.
Which ended up us paying. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's how it works.
He talks a big game.
But that's wild how our family is.
Jeff Fafasas.
Jeff Fafas.
Hello, everyone. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Hope fingers crossed it all works out that way that it should from Sherry.
Yes. Glad it's working.
Oh, yeah. So Andy says, congrats, Amy, on the knife. I want a knife, too.
Woohoo.
Thanks to Chris and Ash.
Yeah.
And a Knife Saga.
You can be chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry. Old Dana Carvey sketch.
Yes. It was cold as ice. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway.
People saying hello to everybody else.
Hello, hello, hello.
Andy's saying, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
Yes. Oh, she's sick again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The little one is sick again this week. So all fingers and toes crossed that I don't get it, because I picked up work for Friday, and I'm going to be real unhappy if I'm ill and have to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's not going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully not.
Carnivore K's in the house. Hi, friends. Hi, Kay.
Welcome, welcome.
Evelyn. Is it Mardi Gras? It is, yeah, because tomorrow's Ash Wednesday.
You going to throw some beads?
I would love to throw some beads.
No.
I mean, you don't have to ask me twice. Woo!
No.
Anyway.
Not going to happen.
You got to talk to my favorite couple tonight.
Nice.
Who's that? Had to turn down the volume. Dustin was rocking out my computer.
Yeah, he's a little loud. Sorry. That is a thing.
Yeah. Yes, we hear you. Thank you, Chris. And again, thank you so much for the knife. I truly appreciate that.
Yes, I'll try not to cut him up with it. We'll see how it goes. It's always kind of touch and go.
It is. It's touch and go. Sean is in the house. Hello, Mr. Bradley. Good evening, he says.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Amy's talking to you, kitty.
That's Bruce. He's a butthead. He's sitting on your arm with claws in. isn't he?
Yes, I get a lot of. Hey, yes, Dustin. I get a lot of trash numbers. I don't answer. Yeah, I don't answer anything.
If I don't know the phone number, I'm probably not going to answer.
And if they don't leave a message, I have visual voicemail. So if I can just pull up the app and look. If they didn't leave a voicemail, then it was not real to begin with. Brian is here. Good morning, or good morning. I don't even know what's happening. I mean, it's dark outside, but I mean,
Might as well be morning. It's
beware
fine.
the Ides of March. That was a good movie.
Yes. Oh,
Catatonic says cranky carnivore color.
I'm
Thank you for
sorry.
being
I'm
here.
not trying to yawn so much. Thank you for being here, guys.
Yeah, Amy says, I wish I could go with the flow. I just get so sick if I eat off plan. I tell you, I had indigestion like the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And then like we would get together for brunch, and then we would go do something, and then they would start talking about what they were going to eat next.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So here's the thing. Everybody in my family is thin. Everybody in my family is thin, except for me. Okay. I look like I ate a sibling in the womb.
You may have.
I might have. Everybody else in my family is thin, like very thin, and they don't really have to try for the most part. My one sister does, but basically they don't have to try. They just are naturally thin. They eat whatever they want. They do whatever they want, and they're just thin. I am not blessed with that. But each one of them wakes up in the morning and is like, oh, I need to eat. And then an hour or two later, oh, I need to eat again. And then an hour or two, oh, I need to eat again. And they will snack and eat and all day long. They might have 5 meals in a day.
Candies and sodas and just
everything. And they just eat all day long. And I mean, we tried to keep up, but dang, I was like, I don't think I can eat anymore. I'm full.
Wait, we're eating it. But then you start to kind of like get into the swing of it too. You're like, I guess it's about time to eat again. You're like, wait, and I'm like, wait, that's just so weird because
we eat about once a day.
Yeah.
Most times.
Yeah, I mean,
it's odd.
If we do eat multiple times a day, it's usually not big meals. Like I make her, like today, I made her a couple of pieces of chicken, and then a couple of eggs, and then I made her a steak a little while ago. She had half the steak.
Yeah.
So
we just don't really eat that much anymore. But like, man, when they're all together, it's just like a smorgasbord all day long.
Yeah, like I said, there was pizza.
And
there was just
every single one of them is thin. Every single one of them, and they very rarely have to do anything to.
Oh, you have to talk about your Friday night dance party.
I had a good time.
Yeah, you did.
I had a good time.
Who wants to go out dancing and do karaoke with this lady?
Okay, so here's the thing. Again, old and fat, so I can get low, but I can't get back up again. That's the problem.
Get low, say low.
I did. I got low, and then I stuck.
Fell.
I did. I fell over onto my butt, and I could not get up again because my thighs just quit. They were done. It was not. It was. You know what? It was fine. I had a good time.
Our nephew brings her over with this pleading look in his eyes, like, "Please take her away from me."
I kept trying to convince him to dance, and he refused. But had a good time.
It was a nice wedding. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It was a very nice wedding, and I got to sit at the kids' table, which always
I was
makes
at the
me
kids'
fun.
table.
It's fun for me. I was during the speeches, I was stacking wine glasses and pouring wine in the very top one, trying to see how much taller I could make it. Oh, water, wine didn't really matter at all. It's clear.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and the kids thought it was hilarious, and we had a great time. So I got to be my big child that I am. You're way behind on people.
I know. Bubbles is why I don't drink soda pop. Just trying to see quick through here. Jennifer Lucas is in the house. Good evening, Miss Lucas.
Hello.
I take it. I've tried to ask you in the Chris Cook in Nashville thing. Are you still going with me on Friday or Saturday? Friday, I have a funeral to go to. An old coworker passed away. But so I've got Friday. I have to drop the girl off at school. She'll be at work. I will go to the funeral, and then I'll do what I got to do around the house, and then go pick her up. And then Saturday we'll be going to Columbus for the Hungry Heath meetup. And Jennifer's usually kind of riding along. She said she was going to ride along with me, but we'll find out. Let's see. BBC and E for the win.
Yes.
Yes.
BBC. Where's Stacy?
And it was we talked about, is it all pork that causes that?
Yeah.
It was like so for me, willpower is not necessarily the issue anymore. I've kind of come to terms with the willpower. For me, I have to sometimes, like, it's not about giving in. It's I want to maintain consistency. So there are some certain times where I just kind of just get what I want, because I feel that if I don't get, because if I get to a point where I just snap and get it, then I'm going to be more uncontrolled. So I do from
Like
time to time,
planned.
I try to plan things and be controlled with things like sodas and things like that. But, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men. Yes. But yeah.
We usually have, like, we know X or Y or Z is going to happen at this point in the year. So we are prepared. We know that we are not going to eat keto during this time frame. We know that generally on the 4th of July, we are up visiting my sister, and we are not going to eat on plan when we're seeing her. Now, this year is going to be different. Yeah. Right. It's not every meal, but it's at least a few. We give ourselves the grace to be able to make those decisions. But like, there are, let's see, July 4th, and typically
birthdays and stuff like
that. Birthdays, because we take the kids out to eat on their birthdays. So 4 to 6 times in a year, we're going to be going off plan. And we know that. And we're prepared for it.
Yeah. Because we've been doing this for 9 years.
Right. And we understand, like, there's a wedding we have to go to. We're, you know, going to be off plan for the wedding, plus family's going to be in town. We're going to have 2 to 3 days worth where we're probably going to eat off plan at least 2 meals, not each day, but at least 2 meals, you know. But definitely the whole eating constantly thing it's weird to step back into. It's weird.
And Jeffrey's asking, is there any kind of carnivore I do dairy to? You didn't lose your sweet cravings after a month or no artificial sweeteners? Well, I don't necessarily usually crave the sweets. For me, I mean, it's not so, like with the soda, it's not so much the sweetness of the soda.
You like the bubbles.
It is the bubbles, but like just the seltzer water, it gives me such a, it makes me thirsty. I don't know. It's weird. So like regular soda, I don't know. It's a strange thing.
I've never lost a sweet craving. Never. And I've done dairy free for a month. I've done no sweeteners for a month. I've done the BBB. This is our second time doing the BBB&E thing for a month. And I never have lost a sweet craving.
I don't necessarily. So for me, I have more savory issues. Like I want corn dogs and things like that. I don't necessarily want
any of that.
Yeah, but for me, it's not so much like cake and ice cream. Like sometimes I want ice cream every once in a while.
I crave fruit more than anything else.
Because for me, usually it's more of a stress related thing. Like it's a stress response.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to understand that. And I work through that with her a lot of the times.
Right. Those calls from the grocery store.
Yeah. Like,
or I'll photos sent from the grocery store.
And you know,
why don't we get this?
Like I send her a picture and so she'll talk me out of it. Sometimes she doesn't talk me out of it. She goes, yeah, that looks good. I'm like, oh. But very rare. I do try to do, you know, we have things in place. We have, you know, procedures.
Right.
You know, contingencies. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Sherry says, yeah, it just sounds like you need to stay away from the pork. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I'm if I were a good patient, I would go see a doctor and figure out what things are going on.
Yeah, she's not.
But I'm probably never going to.
No, you're not. Because I've been on to her for a long time about going and getting labs drawn. And she's like, well, I don't know. I just do it.
They're going to draw labs and tell me I'm fat. That's all I need to know.
I don't care about I want the people to draw the labs. and then I can get the labs to people who won't just say, "Look, you're fat." I can get the
They're
labs
gonna
to.
tell me
I can get the labs to
everything
other
is
people.
normal. Everything is normal. And everything is normal, but you're fat.
No, I can make
That's all I've
sure.
ever been told my whole life.
I can make
Oop.
sure we get things in a different perspective. I can get things in front of Dr. Barry. He's not going to be like, "Well, you're just fat." That's not going to be his response. Anyway.
Or the response will be spend $10 million more to get things done.
Yes, euthanasia. Anyway, Susan's Andy says Susan just picked up some pork belly today. We have to cut it up. Yeah, I've got to cut it up.
I'm gonna
Look who's here.
Hello, Stacy. I'm
Stacy is
gonna
here.
eat some of that pork belly, and I'm gonna feel real bad about it, but I'm gonna eat it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna vomit, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
She says, "Yes, Chandra, I love it. Thank you for singing for me."
You're welcome. Oh,
Maritza is here. Good evening, Maritza. How are you doing, dear?
hello, Maritza.
And
Hope
Brian
today's going
Brian
well.
said, "Did you figure out what happened? Did it start working again?" Well, I've had issues for a long
while
time with this computer. And I don't think it's necessarily the computer. I think it's all the software working together, because I'm using StreamYard. I'm using these microphones. I'm using the webcam that I'm using has a software of its own. Even when I was using a GoPro as my webcam, I had issues.
It just doesn't seem to all be coordinated.
Not everything wants to gel together. And it got even worse after I did a Zoom call one day. And then every time I tried to open up things after that Zoom call, the computer thinks that Zoom is still utilizing everything. And I've talked it out. I've used ChatGPT. I've restarted everything. I've gone through and removed every trace of anything Zoom off this computer, revoked permissions. I've done anything and everything I can think of, and it still just drives me batty. So I'm hoping that maybe a new software, EV Mux, may be a little bit better. But then again, I don't know. It might just be something with this computer, but I can't afford a new computer now. So
it's probably user error.
I mean, it probably is me doing something dumb, but that's just what's going to happen. So
it happens.
Chris says, "Hit that thumbs up for
Chandra, whoever these people are.
Yeah, for whatever the words my mouth isn't saying. Justin and Sharna. Janelle is here. Hello, I made it, but I might be crawling into bed soon. Cough, cough.
Oh, well, I hope you feel better.
I like bed.
Me too.
Scott Elliott's in the house. Good evening, Scott. Hello from Colorado.
We love Colorado. It is beautiful.
Colorado
Springs.
One
of my sisters, lives in Colorado Springs.
And we love being up in where was the
Garden of the Gods?
Garden of the Gods, and going up to
Manitou
Springs, and
Rocky Mountain National Park. Oh, that's amazing. One of these years we're going to get a cabin out there.
Yes.
And we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there in the park. We were there for all of 15 minutes and saw like 4 different kinds of animals. I really want to be out there.
Sherry want a knife.
Woohoo!
Amy says, "I am so excited."
Cutting it up together.
So, oh no. I can just see my life flashing before my eyes. So excited for my new knife. My husband is not going to believe I didn't order something off of Amazon though. But see, I was upstairs in my office doing stuff when that happened, and Chris was also on the TV down here, and she was watching down here listening.
He texted me. He's like, "Hey, I want a knife." I was like, "I know."
Let's see. We saw that one. Yeah. Congrats on the new knife, and Jeffrey won a knife too with a lip gloss answer. It was the lip. Yeah. You heard that.
I can't remember the word, but yes. Lipolysis.
2 great live streams today.
Oh yeah. Bow. Sorry.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm doing lunchtime OMAD. Oh boy, I'm craving pizza. I'm always kind of craving pizza flavor.
Yeah. Chris Cook in Nashville made mini pizzas tonight.
I know. It looks so
go back and watch that. You might be able to find a way to make that.
Man.
Did he say it was carnivore or was it just keto?
It was keto because of the sauce.
Oh, okay.
But the crust was carnivore.
Yeah.
Nancy Tanner's in the house. Good evening, everyone, she says.
Thank you for joining us.
Steph is here. Good evening, Steph. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Carl says that Evelyn is in the kitchen cooking up some yums.
Ooh, ooh.
Num nums, jambalaya keto style. She says hello to you all.
Oh, jambalaya sounds good.
Amy wants to go dancing,
Okay.
dancing.
But we can't let me get low in front of a bunch of strangers, because if I hit the floor and they all laugh, I may be embarrassed. This was around a bunch of families. So when I hit the floor, I was like, well, they know me. They've seen me fall.
She's
It's
like,
fine.
I sing Hips Don't Lie by Shakira because I have bad hip.
Yes, I do that one too. My
And
right hip is not fun.
Sherry wants to go dancing.
Okay, so here's what I told the kids. You know you're old and fat when you get low on a Friday and your thighs still hurt on Sunday. I was like, walking around the house. No, but it was fun. It was totally worth it.
Steph will be there April 1st.
Nice.
And Jennifer says, yes, please.
I'm assuming that's to you still taking her.
Yeah, so I will pick her up. I will have to look at how far we're going and what time I need to pick you up to get there on time.
Right.
Making sure to build in adequate potty breaks because I got to potty a lot, which is what happens.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And she says, after you've gone OMAD, multiple meals a day seems it is so inconvenient.
Well, and see,
and expensive.
We sit around and talk like when the kids are here and whatever, but lately they've been eating before coming over because they don't want to eat what we have. So that's fine. And then we just play games and talk. But like the rest of my family together was like, oh, we want to play games and we want to eat and we want to talk. So like we're eating and talking and gaming and like everything all together. I'm like, this is really excessive. This is a lot.
And Jeffrey says, well, it's very sad not losing the cravings. That was the best thing that happened to me. Food freedom for the first time in over 50 years. Now, let me explain here, because I came from extreme food addiction. I couldn't turn things down. I was eating till I was going to explode. Like literally, like if I like, sevens type food addiction where like, I'm eating to the point where I could probably have a legitimate real rupture.
Mm-hmm.
And we would eat Oreos all the time. We would eat ice cream all the time. We were eating just the lowest common denominator foods because it was easy. We were eating Taco Bell all the time. We were having, frozen pizzas, mac and cheese, just as
cheap and easy.
Yes. And we would eat a lot and often.
Mm-hmm.
And we have gained so much control over the last 9 years.
Yeah.
But I don't think my food addiction's ever going away. It's like you're never quite not an alcoholic anymore.
Right. I will say with this round of doing
your thing.
Yeah. Mine with a C. Anyway, now after doing that in all honesty, I did not crave cheese.
Because usually he was whining about cheese. But
that is rare because I am a cheese on everything, with everything, next to everything. So not really wanting cheese is weird. It's weird. I mean, it is because like I had a piece of cheese today and I was like, it's good, but I don't feel like I need it. I would have done without. But it just is, it's so weird to not want cheese. Like I said, I had a piece today and I was like, that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever be completely without cheese, but I definitely lost that part. As far as sweet flavors and things like that, I've never lost the urge to have them. Not ever. I don't know that I ever will. I've always been a sweets person as opposed to a savory person. I say sweets. I was more and always have been more of a fruit person. Not that I can't eat a cake or cookies are definitely a win for me. But I would, when we were kids, I would polish off 5 pounds of grapefruit in one sitting because I like fruit.
Because when we first started, because I've almost always been the primary person doing the grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first started, I would walk just by the cookie aisle and I would have that longing, like, oh, I guess why? Because like the Oreos, like right on the edge of like the aisles you're walking by and they're right there for you to see. And I'm like, oh, I would stop and like I'd look at the thin ones and I'm like, how many carbs? Like, I could have like 2 cookies. I'm like, there's no way I'm stopping at 2 cookies. And I would just feel lost. And I knew I was feeling better, but it took a long time for that part of me to heal.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll ever quite go away because it was bad. Like I've talked about this. I quit smoking 15 years ago, and to this day, every once in a while, I have a dream where I'm smoking, and in the dream, I know I'm like, why am I doing this? I've quit for 15 years or whatever it is. Why am I doing this? And I'm like disappointed in myself, and but I don't dream about food like I dream about smoking.
Yeah.
So
see, and
yeah.
I, in general, like at work, people have sweet stuff all the time, and I have no interest in it. I'm fine. I don't need it. I don't want it. But if you sit next to me and peel an orange, I've got my nose in that orange. I want to smell it.
But every once in a while, we have the cuties in the house, and you have a bite or two or whatever. I mean, I don't see that being a problem because I don't necessarily think it was oranges that made you fat. It was like I was talking about this on Sunday, like
I know what made me fat.
With like the idea of like the carbs and broccoli. Broccoli didn't probably make you fat.
Nope.
It probably wasn't a sweet potato that made you fat.
No.
You know what I mean? It was like a perfect storm of other stuff. But it wasn't the Whole Foods, the orange.
It was probably the 20 pounds plus of noodles I ate all the time.
Well, there's that, yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. It was probably that. It was probably the fact that
rice, noodles. Because I'd make fajitas all the time with the rice, and just because it was easy. It was like those one pan dinners.
Right.
You just buy the stuff, put it in a pan, stir it around, and slop it on tortillas.
Yeah.
So rice and tortillas.
I don't have noodles, but once a year maybe. Once a year, maybe twice a year, and I know that I can't control myself. So once I'm done and I've eaten to where I feel disgusted, then it all gets packed up and either thrown in the garbage or given to the kids.
Right.
I can't have it.
And Sherry says she's not a good patient either.
I'm the world's worst patient.
You really are. You're terrible.
I know what I need done, but I also don't really care. I'm fine.
And Amy says Zoom messes up my other software too, and I use it for work. Yeah, Zoom is terrible because it's like very invasive. Maritza says I have been recovering from a fall due to a seizure, feeling better, but off plan right now.
That's okay. You can get back to it.
Yeah, but I think but I have questions though with the seizures. Isn't being off plan, doesn't that make the seizures more frequent, or have the possibility of making them more frequent,
or possibly more intense?
Right.
But
Ash is here. She says, been listening, but doing dishes, taking the puppy out because Mel's the best girl. her full name is Melody.
Oh, nice.
She's a good girl. That. And they are so mean to her.
Are they?
They are so mean.
They don't give her any treats.
No treats. No, I mean they're the best, but still. But she's just the best girl.
I'm sure she doesn't get nearly enough cuddles.
She doesn't. Because I'm not there to give them to her. Let's see. Carrie said he was too slow at typing to win a knife, but he has some good knives. I do not have good knives. I have to sharpen mine to cut anything.
They're fine. They work enough.
I'm going to fight you. And Sherry says, Amy, I'm glad my husband has an ex. My husband is my ex.
Because he would try to steal her
knife. Oh, okay, yeah. She's my ex-girlfriend.
And your current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hope you feel better.
We hope you feel better, Maritza.
I love your jokes because they're just like my jokes.
I love your jokes. We share some of them with our youngest because he just every time you tell him a dad joke, he's like, Dustin will call him to tell him a dad joke. And you'll just he'll hang up on you, or you'll hear and then click. It's amazing.
Sherry says, dancing is what kept me at 125 pounds. Kept me at 125 pounds, hard body till I was 40. Quit dancing, married that sad chef, and it all went downhill from there.
Yeah. I say blame him. It makes everything better.
And Sean says, I've been having a hell of a week. My Masterbuilt crapped out on me Sunday when I went to cook the ribs. They didn't have another Masterbuilt, so I had to get another brand. Got a Pit Boss.
Ooh, I hope it's nice.
Yeah. You'll have to send me some photos, Sean.
Of the
Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. I get stuff and then I forget. I look at it, then I forget.
yeah.
It's like, and I take a nap, and then I forget all about everything. These naps are great. Marisa says, my seizures are very intense and more frequent. I have made appointments with doctors and waiting to go to those.
Well, I hope they give you some answers and some solutions, and I hope they get better.
Look at this. He's got his head in my hand. At least it's not digging me with his claws anymore.
Not yet.
Amy says, my food addiction is not going away either. I thought about going carnivore, but I just don't think it's sustainable for me. Strict ketovore works much better. But I do have bad food noise cravings. So that's why, like, we're for us, BBB&E in spurts, like for like 30 days at a time, works well for us, because I don't necessarily think if we went full strict carnivore, I don't think it would be sustainable long term.
Oh, I did find something else this round. The last time we did it, it took a very big hormonal toll on me. It delayed my period and messed with my head emotionally. And this time it still delayed my period by a week. But I don't know, maybe my chicken's got hormones or something. I'm not sure. But having it the way that we did it this round, I did not have mood swings. So I don't know. I feel like this is much more sustainable than what we did the last time.
Yeah.
And the last time we did it exactly the strict BBB&E. This time I did the the BBC.
Loves that BBC.
I can't help it. It makes me laugh every time.
Andy says, day 4 without dairy. Saved. I'm doing fine with it. Lots of eggs and steak bites and hamburgers.
Yeah.
Well, also, there was like about a week combined for the two of us. We barely ate anything because we were so sick.
That
without dairy
just happened. There was nothing much to do about that.
Jeffrey says, I gave up cheese for 1 week, lost 5 pounds, worst week of my life.
That's the other thing. I haven't lost an ounce. Weighed myself the other day. I don't lose.
So I don't do these challenges for weight loss.
No, but I just find it hilarious.
And I didn't even bother. I think I weighed myself like day 2 into this, but I never got back on this, because to me, like, the scale to me is
dirty ass liar.
It frustrates me, and it's more going to throw me off track, because if I focus just on how I feel and not what the scale says, I am way more likely to be successful
and more contented about it.
Because I can feel how my clothes fit. I can feel how my shirts fit.
Everything still fits the same for me. I didn't lose a dang ounce. It didn't do a damn thing for me other than I didn't feel like I needed cheese.
Yeah.
And I didn't get moody.
Well, you're always kind of moody.
I didn't get more moody.
Yeah, that's true. Amy says, I'm having bad food noise right now, especially after watching Chris cook in Nashville's Pizza Bites. I'm using a salt rock right now and drinking water.
Yeah. I don't know how to drown out the noise easily. Put on a good movie.
I mean, for us, really, I think for me, just kind of going and working helps me.
Yeah,
being in my office
busy
helps me. Yeah, staying busy really does help, because I think when we sit down, so like we go and we drop.
I chew gum. I don't know that everybody's approval of that, but I chew gum.
Yeah.
Chewing gum for me is like people chewing gum who used to smoke, When I chew gum, I'm distracted, I'm busy. I do that and I work at the same time. And so I have like usually multiple things happening at once. I'm watching a YouTube video and working and chewing gum and whatevering at the same time. So if I'm doing all of those things, I am too busy to get stuck on whatever's in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So also use that sort of as a general how to keep yourself entertained when things are going poorly.
And sometimes sometimes I'll have another coffee instead of eating.
Yeah.
And and just because I know that there's some carbohydrates in there, there's probably more caffeine than I need, but it's more likely to keep me on track longer and keep it. You know what I mean? Like,
Coffee sounds really good.
Yeah, coffee always sounds amazing.
It does.
Let's see. Sean says, tried smoking ribs today and it took a long time to cook. I'm thinking the temperature isn't right. It took 5 hours to get to wrapping temp. I was pretty upset. The smoker isn't as good as the last.
That stinks.
I mean,
But you probably just need to play with it a little bit and get it figured out, and then you'll know how to optimize it.
playing with it's the best part. Sean says, I don't dream about food, but I do fantasize about eating it when they bring stuff in. And I'm good about like I worked in an office for a while, like the last office job that I had. Every other week they brought in bagels, and I was never tempted to eat the bagels.
Mm-hmm.
I'd walk in because I had to get coffee or we had like soda fountains in the office. Like every floor had like the 6 or 8, you soda fountains. And like with Diet Pepsi or whatever, right? And like they had a sheet, you had to go to different floors to get different flavors or whatever. That I never really was tempted too much to have the soda too often. I had a few times. But like, coffee was what I was always into. And I had my water and my ice, because you had ice, obviously ice and water.
Mm-hmm.
And I would mix in like the lime packets in there. And then, but they would bring in bagels. There was almost once or twice a week was somebody's work anniversary, and there's a giant sheet cake.
See, and at my work, every day I'm at work, somebody's either got donuts or a family brings in cookies,
because it's ICU and it's all
or,
that.
Yeah. So there's always food, and they have a snack bar set up in the break room where people can just buy stuff, and they have everything from ramen noodles to granola bars.
I'm skipping ahead because I want to say I love you, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
She says heading to work, but wanted to listen and say hi. Are you coming to Columbus on Saturday, Jackie? Jaqueline, are you coming to Columbus on Saturday? Please say yes. I miss you.
But yeah, for missing and avoiding all that stuff at work, I really don't have a problem with it. I don't really want any of it. It doesn't sound appealing. But I've also always been more of a homemade, natural fruits type of thing. Not that I can't eat an entire pack of Oreos, but I bet you I would like Oreos that were homemade better.
Yeah.
So,
but
anyway.
Sherry says, I also love the fruits. I eat strawberries, but we almost always have like strawberries, blueberries. Like right now in our fridge, we have nectarines and
the little cuties,
the little orange cuties. Yeah.
But I'll cut the girl a neck because the girl takes those things to lunch.
Yes.
I don't like blueberries, never have. And I don't really like the little cuties. I might eat a piece of it when I'm preparing her lunch, but every time I have that, I'm just like, oh, an actual orange or an actual grapefruit, yes, but I don't like the little cuties.
I don't mind the cuties.
But cutting up a nectarine, there's always a Ma tax. I cut up her nectarine to get it ready for school, and a Ma tax. There's a slice I get. But I've always been much more of a fruit person than anything else. I like cookies, but I prefer homemade.
Yeah, milk and orange juice. I never was a huge orange juice fan, except for Simply Orange, but I only usually drink that when I didn't feel good. But I would if I didn't feel good, I would kill a whole bottle of it in one night. Mm-hmm. But milk, oh man, milk. Even now I have trouble. Sometimes I'll get into the habit of buying the Fairlife milk. So I buy the whole milk, and it's only 6 carbs per serving, which is 8 ounces. But the bad thing is I don't just drink 8 ounces, so I have to be very careful buying the milk. But milk is just like, she never got into milk.
I don't like milk.
But milk is just one of those like, oh my goodness, I love it so much.
See, I think I know exactly what made me fat. What made me fat is the fact that I would eat my feelings, and I know that damn scale, that old bitch. Anyway, I would eat my feelings and I would binge. If I wasn't feeling okay for whatever reason, I would eat, like I said, I would eat 2 pounds of pasta just by myself because my day wasn't going right.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter what else I ate through the rest of the day, no matter how good you're being, 2 pounds of pasta is enough, way too much for anybody.
That's only $2 though.
Right.
But I mean, that's how cheap it's, because rice is the same. You can make 2 pounds of rice for like 85 cents, you know, like.
Or I'm going to make homemade cookies. Great. I'm going to make homemade cookies because I feel like I need cookies or whatever. So then you make half of the cookies and you eat those, and you eat the other half of the raw dough. So you made all of this and it's gone in like 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And even though I had 3 kids, I ate at least half on my own. So I know exactly what made me fat. What made me fat was overabundance, overdoing,
Mhm.
and eating my feelings.
So that's the thing. That's one of the hardest things for me now, because it doesn't matter whether because like I'll get into my feelings and I'll still eat like some hot dogs, or it doesn't matter what kind of food I'm eating. There's always going to be some emotional eating there, because that's so hardwired into me. And I don't know if there's a way to ever get away from that.
Yeah. I've never been the type of person who is,
I do work hard at it, and we try to help each other navigate that.
I've never been the type of person who can take one bite unless it's disgusting to me. I've never been the type of person who can just try a bite of something and like it. Like that. I've never been that type of person. I'm going to eat it all, or I'm not going to eat.
That was the thing. Like, that's something that James and I had talked about. James from Ready Set Keto, and he and his son, and his son would bring in chips, like different flavors of chips, and he was like, I just have 1 or 2 chips and that's enough. But like, to me, I'm like, it's the whole bag or nothing.
Right. And like I said, I know exactly how I got fat. And yeah, I may love fruit, but again, 5 pounds is too much.
Yeah.
Nobody should be eating that much. And I did this my whole
Well, considering
life.
we're not going to starve to death during the wintertime.
Right.
I mean, if
I trust me, I have enough. I could probably sleep for 3 years and wake up fine. But
Sean was saying here, like, get Chris ready to develop a keto chow gum. Speaking of keto chow, stick around after the credits. This live will transport you magically over to the keto chow live stream. So wait, when I hit the credits, just sit tight, let the credits run through, see all the people who are members, maybe decide becoming a member yourself, and you can get your name in the credits too.
And then you'll be magically transported.
Yeah, and then you just click on it and you'll be right there hanging out with Miriam and Chris.
Right. Oh,
and Jackie said she's currently drinking a birthday cake keto chow iced coffee. Iced coffee is one of those things that I had to be very careful about. Cold brew coffee, because I could drink like 2 gallons a day.
Then he just shakes. He's working on an entirely new dimension. Yeah. That's what it is.
I'm working on a different frequency.
Yeah.
Man, but it's so like, there's something about cold brew coffee and heavy cream. It reminiscent to me of chocolate milk. Yeah. Doesn't have to be chocolate coffee at all. But so there was a point in the middle of the pandemic where I was making my own cold brew, and I was using half Costco bold Colombian blend or whatever it is. And then I was also utilizing the mocha chocolate Starbucks. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like half of that. And I'd had like my cold brew bag, and I would tie it up and I'd put it into the thing, and it would soak for a week, and it would soak the entire time I'm drinking it. So it was ridiculously potent. And I was drinking 2 major cups of that a day. So like, I was having 60 plus ounces of that a day, and an energy drink. Yeah, I was seeing colors.
He was basically blurry.
I was smelling colors and tasting sounds. And
yes.
And let's see. Amy says they had, I can't remember.
Eskies?
I know there's a way to pronounce that, and I just can't remember how to do it. Yeah, something like that. They had them at work today, jelly-filled ones. I miss Fat Tuesday every year. So yummy. And then I know that there's a thing that Evelyn has a recipe for keto ones. Punchkis. Punchkis equals a donut. So let's see. There are Amish crack donuts. That's just like that. How are they Amish so skinny? Oh, they're feeding it to us. They're not eating it.
Well, that's because they probably, I don't know, work all day outside, barn raising and whatnot.
They don't got no air conditioning.
They're sweating it out.
Yeah.
But see,
Jackie will be there.
Woo.
No, you're not. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know. My whole family's thin, just not me.
And Sean said they're training at work. They'll be providing food. They never provide the right food.
Yeah, I pack my own lunch Dustin packs my lunch every single day I am at work. So like I don't I don't really have any inkling to eat any of the things that they bring. And we have a pitch-in occasionally, and I would bring keto food to the pitch-in and nobody eats it. So I told them from now on, I'll just bring them plates. That way I'm participating at least something, but I'm going to eat
But
my own food.
because you're not eating their food and they're not eating yours, so it seems silly. Yeah.
Right. So it just,
Because then, I mean, I'm the one going to the store, making a huge batch of something, shipping it off to her with her.
and then I just come back home with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be doing much.
Great job, Sean. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is like all my jobs, they didn't really know anything about it. So they didn't really try. It was not on them to try.
Well, and
you
it
know.
isn't that the other ladies at work don't try. It's that they, they all have little kids. So whatever they're making is suitable for them to bring home to the kids and things like that. We don't have a pitch-in, but maybe once every couple of months. So I'm okay with it because I'm going to eat what I brought anyway.
Jambalaya is almost ready. The punchki donut are really good. Yeah, so Amy wants the recipe. Let's see, keto chow donut. Let's see. Sean says, Amy, my plant has 2,700 people. Most know who I am and that I lost a lot of weight, but don't know I'm keto. My good friends know, but that's it. Let's see. Evelyn says, I used Victor from Southern Keto's donut recipe, fried and beef tallow from Easy Peasy Keto, and Keto Chow Classic Cake Donut was given to me by Milady Lafalotte and Rockin' Keto Amy.
No.
Look at that. That's community right there. That's
right?
That's a village making it happen.
Right.
It takes teamwork to make the dream work.
It takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
Like this one.
I'm not raised.
I know.
I'm a heathen.
I know. Don't I know it?
Donut?
They all know it.
It's true. Sherry says, don't hate me, but I've never been an emotional eater. I'm so blessed that I have really good control around bad foods.
I don't think anybody hates you. We're just thankful that there are people like you out there.
Yeah.
That gives us something to aspire to.
I don't necessarily think it doesn't really matter what the food is. I'm just an emotional, and my mom raised us basically to eat our emotions because she was an emotional person and we learned that bad habits from her and they're still there.
Yeah. Well, and mine is very much like not just emotional eating, but also like you build a community, you build a family by sitting around the dinner table.
Yeah. So that's like Amy's talking about her company is small, and that's how she found out about KPL because her coworker went there.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you, Jaqueline. Punchki. They aren't eating the chemicals we eat, even though they are higher carb, but they are cleaner. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they smell weird. It's not even bath day.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sonny's here.
Thank you for joining us.
Cranky says, bring the CCN recipes. Indeed. Let's see. St. Patty's Day potluck. Maybe KC Irish cream fudge.
That sounds good.
Carl says, I'm a part of the team. I'm going to eat them. That's right.
Yes.
And Jaqueline says, I made a double batch of pumpkins, chili, sausage chili, known as keto. Everyone liked it, but I'll have to make it more mild. Didn't even use jalapeno either. I miss that so much. I want to bathe in that soup. It's so good to me.
They want it white girl spicy.
Ugh, mayo, gross. You gotta be careful. That hot sauce is not good in the sun. Amy said, me too. It doesn't matter what the food is. It can be celery. I will sit there and eat the whole. Yeah, I mean,
same.
Yeah. It's more of a texture than even a flavor. Because after a while, you're not even tasting it. You're just shoveling it in like
Flynn, just doing it. Yeah.
Y'all are getting me to eat more meat. Sherry knows that meat is good.
Do it.
Do it.
Yes.
Oh. I'm trying to do BC&E, bacon, chicken, and eggs twice a week. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would be fine sticking with a beef, butter, chicken, and eggs.
Mm-hmm. It's simple. It's easy. I just like beef patties. I like the hamburger patties. She's not a fan of the frozen burger patties.
No.
But I did get some roasts and I cut them into thin strips.
That's good.
And froze them.
So that is actually something that's really handy and cheap. At Costco, you get the big What style roast?
I'm like, I don't know. That's the big something
I
roast.
think it's a chuck roast.
Chuck roast, yeah.
Anyway,
It's nice and fatty.
a big chuck roast, and then you just slice it very thin.
As thin as you can with the knives that I have.
Yeah, as thin as you can with kind of cruddy knives, and then separate it and portion it out and put it in the freezer. And then when you're ready to cook it, you can thaw it in the fridge overnight and then put it in the frying pan with butter. And that's all it needs. It doesn't need anything more than that. And it is flippin' delicious.
I do salt it before I freeze it.
That's a mistake. Don't do that.
Well, I think it needs it. I just need it not salted so heavy.
It's too salty. It's bad. Rinse it before you cook it if you do that. It's too salty.
I think it tenderizes it too.
It's just,
so I mean, I just put it. I don't even thaw it first. I just throw it in the cast iron pan, the cast iron skillet, frozen. Put a lid on top of it, crank the heat up, and let it get all nice and crusty on one side. Then I'll flip it, let it get all crusty. Then it starts to separate itself. Then I just stir it around for a while. Then I put it in a bowl, and you're good to go.
But don't salt it before you freeze it. That was too much.
Yeah, don't salt it before you freeze it.
I had to throw out some of it the other day at work because I just couldn't eat it. It was so salty.
Oh, I forgot to pack your ketchup. I'm sorry.
What?
I forgot to pack your mustard. I'm sorry.
I don't eat any of that crap.
I hear you.
What I'm saying is it was gross. You over-salted it.
Mm-hmm.
Tasted like I was eating a salt lick.
It's good for you.
No, it's
good
not
for you. It was good for you, dear.
Not if I'm not going to eat it.
Well,
anyway.
with that, we are an hour and 6 into this. It is 9:12. Keto Chow will be starting in like 3 minutes. My outro is about 1 minute with the credit. So I want to say thank you all so very much.
Oh, sorry, I've been yawning.
Sherry says, I can eat 1 burger patty, but if I eat 2, and I get the same reaction Chandra does with the pork, steak will never get on my plate. I don't know. I like my burgers really rare. So, and my steak's even rarer. So I don't know, but I mean, Sherry, you're doing a wonderful job. You're doing fantastic. Thank you again so much for everybody. Good night, Sunny, Cranky, Amy, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here.
Guys. Thanks for listening to us jabber jaw.
Thank you again, Jeffrey, for the $4.99 super chat. We truly appreciate you. Thank you all so much. And with that, here is a cat digging into me. But here's the credits.
Good night, guys.
We love you, and we'll see you next Tuesday, and I'll see you Sunday.